Welcome back, everybody. Time for the next installment of our tutorial in Factorio. I apologize for not releasing any episodes the last couple days, but was having a fun time with the family this weekend. But we're back, and we're getting close to the end of this playthrough. We've got Rocket Silo being researched. That'll be finished in a fairly short amount of time. And soon we'll be getting to the point where we can build our rocket parts. Where we left things off last time, we determined that we need more power and we need more steel production. So that's what I'm going to be working to set up today, as well as getting a few more rocket part items set up as well. So we'll start with the power. Now, what I'd like to do here is put a couple of splitters so that we can continue to carry 2 lines of coal. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add another 40 steam engines. So that'll give us another 20 megawatts of power, more or less. As you can see by our little visual indicator, we're pretty much at maximum capacity right now. So I don't want to mess around with just a small increase and have to do it again. So we'll go ahead and set up 40 of these. And I think that'll give us all that we need to get through the rest of the game here. Whoops. And we're just going to continue our grid. Set up the same way as we have been doing. It's a pretty effective setup. No need to change it at this point. All right, so we'll lay in our power poles. There we go. And another row down here. Okay, and then our underground pipes, 4 sets of those, and then our boilers. I made 56 of those. That's 14 times 4, if my math is correct. And more underground pipe. Got that convenient little pond there. And let's see, this last one we'll put up here. There we go. Okay, so those are all connected. Let's lay in our belts for coal. And actually, I'll just split these off like this. Don't need any more splitters at this point. Okay, and then our burner inserters. All right. Now my concern at this point is whether we've got enough coal production, because we can see these belts are getting fairly well thinned out by the end. I think that'll be enough. Okay. And we can see now we're down to about 2/3 of our energy capacity. Yeah, I think we've got enough coal. We can see there's some accumulating there at the end of the belt. So We're using all the coal we can up here. Looks like this guy has run out of coal. He's mined out. You can tell because if you hover over it, you can see on the right where it says expected resources. There's no number next to it. That means it's mined out all of the coal. If there's any coal left over, you'll see a number there. So I'm going to go ahead and pick him up. And I wonder if I can fit him in somewhere else. Yeah, we can fit that in right there. He'll be able to pick up a little bit around the edge. I don't know why I keep calling this thing a he. That's kind of weird. It will be able to pick it up from over there. Okay, we'll go down here and just to check again. Yeah, looks like we got enough. Okay, good. So our power situation should be taken care of. Yeah, like I said, hopefully through the rest of the game. Now let's set up another steel line, because we're going to need more steel. Off camera, I upgraded the steel to a red belt from yellow, so that we'll be able to carry a higher throughput. Okay, and I'm going to set that up down here. We need 32 furnaces. And again, we do 2 rows, 2 belts, 2 rows. So we'll go ahead and set this up just like we did before. Leave 1 space. Then a space of 4. Okay. And then our output is going to come down here. Still having trouble going in straight lines. That hasn't changed. Okay, and then we did our coal belt on the bottom. So let's do it that way. And then I'm going to put my output belt with red belts. And then we'll bring it up and join it there with a splitter. So I'll just go ahead and make that connection right now. There we go. Okay, and then we need to get our ore and coal. So let's start with the coal. Bring that down. And we brought the coal in so that the top of the splitter is in line with the coal input. All right, so we'll do that the same way. There we go. And we'll set up our input lines, and the other splitters were lined up with our row of furnaces, like so. Oh, I got some of these belts facing the wrong direction. Okay, I think that's right. All right, let's let me get my ore. Here we need to use a red splitter. Actually, let me move this back one so that I can rebalance it. And these should be red. This should be a red splitter as well. The one on the bottom doesn't need to be red because it only has a yellow line feeding it. Okay. All right, and then here we need to bring the coal down that way. Okay, and I think that works. Let's go ahead and set up some power poles. Will that work? Yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, yeah, I think we're in good shape here. So let's go ahead and start putting down some inserters. First for the iron. And then into the steel furnaces. Put in another pole here to get some power down. And then these will output onto the red belt. And we're gonna bring coal up. Now I'm gonna need another power pole here. All right, let's make some more red inserters. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so that side is in good shape. Let's get the other side going. Now we're not using a whole lot of steel right now, so you may be wondering why we're doing this. But you'll see that once we start making rocket parts, we use a lot more steel. And hopefully we won't run out. It's always better to have a little too much on your input supply than what you actually need, so that you don't run out. It's kind of frustrating sometimes where you keep running out of your raw materials for what you're trying to build and have to keep going back and expanding. So I tend to try to overshoot the requirements a little bit when I'm setting these things up. Okay, so we got our power taken care of. We've got our steel line set up. Now, the other thing that we need to set up here, if we look at the recipe to make the rocket silo, we need 1,000 steel plates, 1,000 concrete, which we've already made. We need 100 pipe. We need 200 blue circuits, which we should have in our chest. And we need 200 electric engine units, which are already done. Okay. Now, the other thing that we're going to need at the end is a satellite. We have to load a satellite into the rocket in order to complete the game. And for the satellite, we need low density structures, which we're going to be making already for the rocket parts. Skipping down, 5 radars, processing units, rocket fuel, all those are already being made. The only thing that we don't have right now are solar panels and accumulators. So now would be a good time to set up the production of those items so that by the time we're ready for that satellite, they'll be complete. So let's go do that. Now, solar panels require steel, green circuits, and copper plates. Before we do that though, I am noticing that our green circuits are still not coming out quite as fast as they should. And it's because they're starving on copper, at least on the left side here. So what can we do to fix that? I wonder if we remove those, if that would improve this situation. Or in fact, if we do that, that may add more copper to the lines above rather than pulling it down. Let's see if that helps. And if it doesn't, then I'll just upgrade these to red belts, because I know that'll help. You know what, let's just go to red belts. Let's not screw around with this. Gonna need more splitters. No, don't do that, that's gonna take too long. Let me grab some circuits here. And we'll upgrade those copper lines to red belts. Now, where do I want to do that? We'll do it starting from here. I'm going to need to wait for those splitters. In the meantime, I'll start putting down the red belts. Oops. All right, need to grab some more. So let's go down to our red belt factory over here and pick up some additional ones. All right, so that needs to be red, that needs to be red. All right, we'll run red belt all the way up to the top here. And then I'm going to leave the bottom two lines yellow, and that should result in us naturally just getting more copper up here on the top two belts, which is where we really need it. Okay. So let's see how that works. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's solved our issue there. We're definitely now getting more copper heading all the way up the line. So that should keep our green circuit production at full capacity. And we don't have any issue with copper running out down here. Okay. You know, and I think the reason that this side is running out of green is because this side doesn't have red, so they're not using the green that they have on that side. And this one has an excess of red circuits, so this is running full speed. But the question is, why are we running out of red on one side and not the other side? That is curious. Oh, I see why. Because we're not combining the belts. Okay. And we're also making different things. That one uses 5, and this one uses 2. Okay. My mistake. It makes sense now. Now let's make sure we've got everything we need over here, and I can see that we're running short on plastic. So let's check on our plastic production and see if there's something we can do there to speed things up. We need more coal. All right, so let's beef up the coal for plastics. And we can do that. I don't want to take anything away from our power production. So let's do this. I'll take these 3, or those 6, I should say. And we'll join those up with this belt that's going over to our plastics area. Right now we only have 4, so this will... No, that's not really 6. That's 4 more. Let's flip that around and flip this one around. Okay, so now we've got 6 more. We'll just have to keep an eye out and make sure that we're still getting enough coal for iron and steel. And then let's go and check and see if this helps alleviate our bottleneck in the plastics area. Once this additional coal gets sent up here. And I happen to have some in my inventory, so I'll go ahead and feed that to these guys. We've got plenty of petroleum, so that's not the problem, obviously. I think the other thing that would help would be replacing these with fast inserters. And here's why. Even though the production time is 1 second, and 1 actual real second is enough for a yellow inserter. However, if we look at these machines, we can see that the crafting speed is 1.25. So that means that they actually produce faster than 1 second. It would be 1 second divided by 1.25, whatever that happens to be. I don't want to try to do the math in my head. Something like 0.8, I guess, 0.85, I don't know. But in any case, that's faster than 1 second, so the yellow inserters will not be able to put coal in there fast enough to keep it going. Now, why isn't this one working? This one's not working because there's no gap in the belt. So let me put red belts down on these 2 sides and see if that affords a space. Yep, that looks good. See, now we have pretty much a fully compressed yellow belt of plastics. And it appears that the coal is now sufficient to keep that going. Okay, so plastic's full. This should be running full speed now. Green circuits are running full speed. Still not enough. Still not enough green circuits. Well, let's see what happens once our research stops. Because we are using some green circuits for research. Over here, as you can see, we're using a lot of green circuits to make these smart inserters for blue science packs. So my hope is that once Rocket Silo finishes researching, we won't need any more blue science packs, and that'll mean more green circuits for this line over here. Okay, so let's set up solar panels and accumulators. So, as we said, solar panels use 5 steel plate, 15 electronic circuits, and 5 copper plate. Okay. So let's, this needs to be red belt. Let's bring our red belt over. And for iron. We can actually remove this. We really only have one iron line still going. And copper. Here's our copper. Two, three, four. I'll leave 5 or 6 spaces there. And I'll just set up 2 of those. And then up here, those will be for our accumulators. And again, we just need 100 of each of those. Put down a light. No, actually, let's put that light over here. Okay, and we'll put down a couple chests in between there. So I'll make 2 iron chests. That's where we'll put our output. I believe these stack in 50s. So we'll limit those to 100 each. Okay, so steel, circuits, and copper. And these need iron and batteries. All right, so we'll run the circuits there. We'll have a full line because we need a lot of them. We need a line of copper. And we need a line of steel. So I think I'll just join the steel and copper like so. Okay. And those will start making the solar panels. Now these need iron and batteries. So let's go find where we're making batteries and get some of those routed over that way. Batteries are here. So I'll just put a splitter. And we can use one of these now empty iron lines to bring our batteries over. You can see I'm not being quite so careful with my production bus anymore, since we're basically at the end game and we're not going to need to continue to bring a lot of this material over. So, and we can just do that. Okay, rocket silo is researched. So now we can start making rocket parts. Let's move that up. There we go. Got some batteries in my inventory, which I'll throw in there. Okay. All right, now that all of our research is done, I'm going to turn this off so we stop using so much circuits. I'm going to leave this one running because we'll need inserters. In fact, I'll grab some now. Okay, and the rest of this we can turn off. We don't need any more research. So I'm going to pick up all this battery and steel and red circuits. going to turn off blue science. Because we don't need it anymore. And actually, we don't need this running either. We've got our 200 engines. Those are done. Thank you very much. Pick these factories up, because we'll be reusing these materials to start making rocket parts. I'm going to leave the pipe. Actually, I'll grab these factories too. Assembly machines, rather. And we might as well grab the inserters as well. Okay. That's going to do it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to start building our rocket parts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.